Hey everyone, Shane here. Let me tell you about my show coming up on November 24th, Saturday night over at Pops. We're calling it Riffs for Gifts. Me and my friend Lexi Schlimmer put this show together for benefiting Toys for Tots, and we invited all along our friends. Outrun the Fall, The Poor, Steeples, Monk and the People, The Matching Shoe, and Silent Hollow, all performing live that evening on Saturday the 24th. Along with that, we'll have some silent auction stuff. We'll have there's rumors that Santa Claus might even be there, so I'm very excited about that. And a whole lot more other things coming up. So get involved with the show. You can find more details at popsrocks.com. And come on out. It's a $10 donation at the door or $5 with a toy donation. So again, all this benefiting Toys for Tots, and it's going to be a great time. So come on out Saturday, November 24th, Pops in Sauget, Illinois. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, this is Lexi
and Sid
of Hess Van Schlimmer Metalworks and Art, home of the Schlimmer Metal Wolves. We are a small but furious family-run welding, fabrication, and metalworks shop with CNC capabilities and now full-scale powder coating operation. We bring unique, affordable quality art to life within the realm of practicality. Whether it's signs, sculptures, railings, shelves, furniture, or even just powder coat for your rims or your patio set, give us a look. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram or call 618-670-5724. We are Hess Van Schlimmer Metalworks. That was terrible.
We tried.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here with Rock Paper Podcast. Let me tell you about my friends over at Naked Vine, located at 1624 Clarkson Road in Chesterfield, Missouri, serving up all your favorite wine, whiskey, and local craft beers. Stop by and visit them this week for some live music from the Warbuckles on Thursday, November 1st. Jake's Leg on Friday, November 2nd. Kent Earhart and the Blue Moon Blues Band on Saturday, November 3rd. And I return to Naked Vine with my singer-songwriter storytelling showcase on Tuesday, November 13th with Nick Gussman, Maddie Schell, and Sean Kimball. 7 o'clock start for that show, $5 at the door. All these details and more can be found at nakedvine.net. Be sure to follow along with them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram also. And again, come out for some wine and stick around for the show. Thanks, everyone.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
This is comedian Max Price, and you are listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast, y'all.
Hey everyone, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri, hanging out in a Denny's with Max Price.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, man, this been a long time, man. I was just pulled it up. It's been just over 2 years since we last hung out on the show. So that's kind of crazy to think about that. It was July 2016. But you've been busy, man. You've been crushing it lately with the showcase and everything in town, and so it's really exciting to see the success that you've been given and you're earning, and as you keep doing this, man, keep hustling. So it's really cool to see as we kind of look back at that, like where you were and where you are now. It's kind of cool to think about.
It's honestly insane to think about, because the last podcast I did with you was 1 month before I started it. And obviously, so much has happened, so much, peaks and valleys, and it's been a roller coaster of a time, and just what not only my comedy career, but also my, producer career, Producer Showcase has become since then. It's it's been great. It's been a lot of ups and downs and lots of trials and errors, but I'm happy that I can, say at the point that I'm at now, it's at a very, very successful and enjoyable point. It's as of more recently this year, it's like the top rated and highest attended monthly comedy show in the city. So it's I guess figured a couple things out. Let's go do some things right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You are fresh off the stage tonight. You just hosted the Funny Bone open mic, and was that you had a good time doing that?
Oh, I had a great time. No, it was a good night. It was. The crowd was, open mic never has like a huge crowd, but it was enough to do a show, and they were higher energy than you could even like ask out of that size of the crowd. So I mean, they're responsive. They were fun. There was a group of like softball girls. Like there was like a softball team there somehow for whatever reason, and they were a hoot. They were just they were laughing at lots of different things. It was like their first time at a comedy show, and usually first timers are like really like weird about it, but they were just like really explosive about it, and they weren't like rude. They were just like enjoying themselves. So that was really fun. It's always awesome when you're able to give a good show to like a group of first timers that are just like really excited about it, and they're not just like dicks or just like it's like because you have like a lot like usually. But I think that's the difference, is that it was a group of like girls, like I don't know, like a lot of times like if it's like an organized team, like if you have like a bachelor party or like just like a big group of dudes, it's always they're just like they want to like make themselves like center of attention, and they'll just like yell random stuff out, or they'll just be they'll just heckle, but like I don't know, I feel like if it's something about like organized teams, like I've had shows where it was like a soccer team or softball team, blah blah blah. Anytime it's organized teams, they're always just like good people. I don't know, something about organized sport really brings out the best in people when they're attending someone else's events. I guess because it's like they understand that like when it's when you're in the spotlight, that you don't want to be like bothered. It's like it's your time to shine. It's like we play a sport, we have our own thing. Now let you have your thing. So that was really fun, and that's over, and now I'm here, and it's bittersweet because I'm on one of the best podcasts in St. Louis, but I'm also at a Denny's, but I'm making the best of it. I'm having fun. I'm especially I love Denny's.
I do a lot of these in Denny's, and it's a whole lot of fun. It actually works out real nice, and I hope if I do enough of them and I mention Denny's enough that they're going to give me some free pancakes one of these days. But
yeah, I like that they have a fun zone here, which is basically just 2 arcade games in a hole in the wall, which I love that they went through the trouble of labeling it the fun zone, like you're about to enter Dave and Buster's VIP room, but it's literally just a cutout in the wall with 2 little arcade games. It's adorable, actually.
I mean, what more do you need, though?
Exactly, and $1 pancakes and stuff. But it doesn't get any better.
Yeah, man. I think I've actually sat in this same Denny's with Libby Higgins and Nathan.
Love
Norton,
Libby, love Nathan,
and a couple others. Definitely those 2 come to mind.
I think Nathan's a frequent Denny's. He's got some frequent flyer miles on his Denny's card. I'm pretty sure him and Lucas Hinderleiter attend pretty often. They're big fans of the breakfast at night kind of club. But no, dude, I haven't been to a Denny's in forever. This is weird.
Yeah.
No, it's fun.
I'm
so happy to be here. This is awesome.
So did you get to try any new material this evening at the open mic?
Yeah, man.
I don't know how that works as for the host and stuff. If you get to do much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. Like a lot of comics will kind of like go with their even if it's an open mic, they're hosting it, they'll go with like their tried and true, like your whole point is to like warm up the crowd and get them like into it and stuff. But like as you get a little more time, so like with that extra time, like I'll mix it. Like I did a couple of tried and true things to like kind of like get them a little revved up, like stuff that I knew would like get them into the show, and then I worked on a little bit of new stuff, like a little bit worked, a little bit didn't, but that's that's just how it goes. This is what open mic's for. It's finding out what's working and what's not, and then you can either work on a joke that's not working or you can scrap it, and then what does work is what's going to go on to an actual professional paid show.
Yeah.
So
is there a certain thing you see at open mics that you would I mean, not that you're a veteran by any means yet, but I mean that you've been doing this for a while now and you have learned some tips of the trade. Is there anything you would recommend to somebody coming up to an open mic that they might piece of advice?
Don't even. No, I'm joking. No, it's I guess it's hard to say. Like, basically, if you want to do it, try to, like, I don't know. I guess I would recommend maybe at least coming up and watching one first before you do it, just so you can get like a lay of the land and kind of see what they do and like what the people who are at least doing well do, just so you're not so confused and just kind of like make a mess of things, because like like when people like come, they've never even like seen a comedy show live before, and then they come up and try to do it, and then because there's a certain etiquette to it, you gotta be in the right place, ready to get on stage whenever your name is called. When you get up, you walk up, you shake the host's hand, you grab the mic out of the stand, or unless you're like using the stand, if you grab the mic out of the stand, then take the stand to the back of the corner out of the way to just not be distracting, and then you put it back in the stand before you get off, and you shake the hand of the host to get off, and like people won't like know that, and they just kind of ruin the I don't know, the kind of like the flow of it, I guess, and it puts like this awkward like pause in there, I guess, and even off stage, just kind of like not being in people's way, like cleaning up after yourself. There's a lot of like things you just want to do to not be like that guy, and I think, and it's not even so much that like, it's not like they're being like, when I say etiquette, it's not like they're being rude. It's just you just don't know, you know, and even though there's a meeting beforehand to like let you know what to do, like people, there's a lot of things you got to kind of. So I think that would be the biggest thing, because like you don't want to be the person who just like kind of disrupts the flow of things,
right? I
guess. And also you kind of like want to know like how much time you should have prepared, because like people will come up and like think they're getting like 15 minutes or something. Like, it's like you get 4 minutes, and if you're not off at like 4:05, then like good luck getting up next time. It's very strict. People will just run the light by like several minutes, and everyone's just like, you just have to like walk up there and like pull them off stage basically, and it just looks bad and it's awkward to even do that as the host. So like thank you so much. And that was our lovely waitress, just giving us a refill on drinks. So you just want to kind of make sure you're, abiding by the rules. It just makes everything better. Makes you don't want everyone to hate you. Right off the bat.
Was that your first mic at Funny Bone? I forget if we discussed that on your first appearance.
So actually, well, and that's another thing. I speak from experience when I say go check out the open mic first, because I went up without doing it first. So I was just very like, I was very lucky to have a friend who was at the time was doing open mics regularly, who brought me up and was kind of like, I was basically just following him around. He was like, okay, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that, blah 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 blah. Without that, I would have just been a mess. And so I'm very lucky that I had that. But that's why I say, because like no one else usually has a friend up there who's a regular there, like kind of just like showing them the ropes and everything. And it's just like, because you can like, you can embarrass yourself pretty easily if you just kind of like, because comics are vicious, man. Like if you really mess up in some way, like the host is gonna get on and just kind of like take a jab at you on stage and stuff. And I do, I do it just to if anything, it's just kind of like a kick in the ass for like next time, like, hey, do it this way, but yeah, it's have 4 minutes of material ready and be prepared to not go over 4 minutes, and don't say the N-word, and don't say cunt. That's like the two things basically.
Right.
Not like you're not gonna get thrown off stage for saying cunt, but like no one's gonna like you.
Sure.
Because especially if you're your first time at open mic, your joke is definitely not funny enough for cunt to land. So you don't want to make that choice. So yeah, that's probably those are like your rules of thumb, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I had these guys on the show, shooting the dog shit podcast. We were hanging out talking, and they're big fans of comedy, and they actually did the open mic, I think at Heavy Anchor one night.
It's a great mic.
Yeah, and we just got to talking about it, and it's something I think about. Like, I don't think I'll ever actually go do it, but it's something I think about, like, just as a more of a, say I did it once. Like, I mean, I don't have like material prepared or anything, but it would be just fun to give it a shot sometime.
There's something relieving about just being able to say you've done something once, just like, experiencing things of all different nature. It's like skydiving. Like, I'm not even that thrilled at the idea of it. I'm thrilled at the idea of being able to tell people I did it.
Right, exactly, yeah. Well, we mentioned at the beginning of the show your showcase, and you've been, like I said, working hard at this for 2 years, building this showcase up to what it is, and this is a monthly Best of St. Louis showcase, and the next one is happening on November 14th at the Funny Bone in St. Louis here in Westport. And who you got on that one?
This is a really great lineup for November. The very probably honestly one of the most comedically diverse lineups I've had. Really, just like such vastly different styles in everybody. So we have Emily Hickner, really great local comic. She has, I guess you would describe her style as like storytelling. She talks about her parents a lot, and she's got a very likable. It's almost like a shy charm, but she has a very likable personality on stage. That's very fun. And then you have Andrew Frank, who is very more. He doesn't really tell stories. He's very political, and then he's not religious. He does a lot of religious material. Like, so he's very that. It basically makes up, like I said, it does a lot of political and religious jokes, a lot of social commentary, pointing out, the absurdities and the social climate, a lot of that stuff. And then you have Ricky Royal, who talks a lot about his kids and his family, and a lot of difficulties of being a larger man. Kind of jokes, and they're all like just fantastic comics who I just see kill every time I watch them, and with such unique styles, and it's just so like no matter what your style of humor, like this is a show where like you're not gonna leave unsatisfied. Like you're getting a little bit of everything. So like there's nobody that like can't like walk away saying like at least saying like I laughed a little bit at this person. Like you're getting everything, So it's it's a really great lineup. Doors open at 7, shows at 7:30. Again on November 14th. If you mention my name, Max Price, at the box office window, you and anyone you bring get in free, which is a really awesome deal. And yes, I'm aware that my name, Max Price, being the password for free entry is very, very ironic. I have people message me about that all the time because, like, in my ads and messages stuff that go out, it's like, yeah, say max price and get in free, and people are like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's the weirdest thing. Like, what are the odds that I would have a job where I was telling people that you use my name to get in free, and my name means the exact opposite of free.
Right.
But yeah, it's a good time, and people think that it's a fake name because like I did that like as a joke.
Right.
But yeah,
that's a pretty elaborate joke, man.
yeah, that would be a lot. Like I would have to know that far back that I was eventually going to be telling people to use that as a password for free entry.
Yep.
But yeah, it's the showcase has been going amazing. I mean, it just continues to build and build. We had a news producer from Fox 2 at the last show. She came up to me afterward and she was really impressed, and she gave me her card, and she wants to do a live interview segment at one of the upcoming shows. So possibly this next one in November or the one on December 5th. We'll hopefully have Fox 2 up there like shooting and do some stuff,
nice.
Which would be amazing. That would be
man.
just the break I need. Maybe finally get those crowds without spending without it being a full-time job, just getting people, getting people to the show.
I can relate a lot though, man. I recently started my own showcase. I do a monthly singer-songwriter showcase.
Oh, that's right.
And I've been doing that since like April. And yeah, man. I mean, it's a lot of work. Like, people don't always see the behind the scenes of it all, but I know what you're going through, and like it's
insane.
It's just a lot of even work to think about. Like, again, mine's a little different being singer-songwriter, but it's essentially the same thing. You got to find the styles that kind of meshed well together, and people that you think will be a good fit to put on the best show possible. Mm-hmm. And you can't just randomly start throwing people out there, because it's got to take some thought into it to make it what it is. And then
because then it's gonna have a reputation. You want
right.
those, and like, not only do you not want those people that are at the show to like talk bad about it, but you want them to come back. You want to like, gain regulars. And it's like, if you give them, you're not putting any thought into it, you're just putting anybody up, then like they're just gonna be like, I'm not gonna go back to that.
Right. But it's I feel like that I take a lot of pride in that personally, like the putting the shows together and putting the right personalities together to make it the right fit and make it the best show I can. And but yeah, a lot of it's like you're saying, man, it's a full-time job out there hustling, trying to get everybody to get the word out, trying to tell everyone about the shows, even if it's once a month, like just trying to.
Oh, dude, it's insane. Well, because and the other thing is that, like, which I'm sure you didn't either, is like when I took up the job, I don't have any marketing or like advertising, schooling, or experience. I was just a guy who was a regular comedian act at the Funny Bone, and the manager came to me and was like, hey, you want to start putting on the showcase? And me not having any idea what it takes to run a successful showcase, especially being the sole producer of it with no budget, I'm like, what's the worst I could have? How hard can it be? And people have no idea like how many intricate details go into. If you really, really care about it and you want it to be successful and you want to fill seats and those filled seats have a great time and come back, like there's so many different, and especially like, cause like I do it on a Wednesday, like, dude, that's a fucking hard day to get people out. And the first year it faced it faced the threat of cancellation multiple times, because it was losing the club money. It was barely anybody coming out, and they're still staffing for it. So it's like they were like, I don't think we can do this much longer. So basically, I just had to. I spent countless nights just up till the break of dawn, just reading articles, listening to podcasts. I mean, literally anything, everything I could. Watching YouTube videos, literally anything that would like teach me something about marketing, advertising, promoting, everything that goes into it, like every little detail that goes into it, just producing. I even took tips from marketing, advertising tips that were for something completely different, because you can cross things over,
right.
And slowly but surely I figured some things out. It was still a lot of trial and error, but like I picked out a lot of good things that ended up working, and month after month figuring out what worked and what didn't, and focusing on the things that did work and scrapping the things that didn't, and it's built up to what it is. I was really lucky that the managers believed in me enough to kind of sit through the trial and error, sure. And take a few L's before we hit a W.
Yeah, that's the biggest, man. Having somebody who believes in you, man. Having somebody give you the opportunity to fail.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And then stick with you even after several fails in a row.
Right. Is that and now you had would you had over 200 some people and stuff? I mean, it's become, like you're saying, very successful, and for giving that many kind of 200 some people on a Wednesday night that's impressive, man.
We had a record high of 230 people at our 2-year anniversary show in August. We've come, basically I would say since it really started to take off, we hit about an average of a little under 200. We've gotten close to 200 several times. That show was great. We broke our record by 40 or 50 or something. But other than that, a lot of shows have been 185, 175. So we're still it's still getting the house pretty full, especially for Wednesday. And I think a lot of it comes from there. I do a lot of support local deals and agendas, things that I push outside of comedy, and I've built up a lot through Instagram from that and stuff. I do my support local Sunday
I was even one on one of those.
Yeah, had you on one of those. Yeah, for those who don't know, on Instagram I've been slacking a little bit over the last month just because things have been crazy, but generally every week since January of this year I do something called #SupportLocalSunday, where I feature a new local artist, business, performer, whatever, and post about them and try to shine a little more light on them, get some more recognition, and hopefully some new followers. I try to push people to get new followers, because I feel local artists have... for one, St. Louis has just so many talented people. It's insane. It blows my mind every time. Not even just outside of comedy. Obviously, being so involved in comedy, I know how talented the comics are. But then, I do my best to go out and support other arts as well. And it just, it's crazy how time and time again, I'm never disappointed by what I see. I'm just this is amazing. These people should be way more popular than they are. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what sparked wanting to do that. It's just I feel if all the local artists worked together and just everybody shared fans, then everybody would have be a lot bigger. And it's just we have the tools. It's just utilizing them. Mm-hmm. And so I love being able to do that for artists who I think aren't getting the recognition they deserve. Yeah. And it's really fun. And then it's a way for other people to network, because then I'll have people that I featured or just other local artists that follow those people that I posted about, and they'll be like, dude, I'm so glad you did that. I had I think it was maybe something like a photographer started following this one I can't remember who it was, some sort of performer, a dancer or something. I ended up linking up with them and we ended up working together, blah, blah, blah. And it's just it's a good networking tool. Instagram is just so great for artists network and stuff. And I've tried. It's that one's been hard to take off. Like I tried to get it like trending and get more people to do it, but it's kind of tough to start something like that. It's like it's slowly but surely like gained some momentum, but
Right.
Not everybody does it every week, so then it's hard to like gauge it. But yeah, it's really fun. So like because I do that, like a lot of people kind of rally around that whole support local idea, and it gets them excited about it. So then they come to the show to support local talent, and like they're just these hot, high energy crowds that are just like happy to be there supporting the talent in their city. And because that's the thing about St. Louis is like they love to see someone from their city thrive and succeed. Like they love. I mean, dude. I mean, you mentioned John Goodman in a room and like 8 people come in their pants. It's like my mom went to high school with him. Like people love seeing someone from, even if they didn't like personally know them, they love seeing someone from St. Louis make it big.
Right.
And so I think people kind of like have this weird not even weird, but like this obsession with being a part of someone's story, so they it's now this, especially as this gains momentum and becomes really big, it's like people want to come out and see these people who like they are probably gonna really be on TV eventually, and they want to be like kind of like a part of that story, be able to say they supported them in the beginning, which is just great, which is what we need. So it really brings out like not just people, but like the best people, like the best kind of people that really want like the best for who they're coming out to watch, because they're not just like looking for something to do, they're specifically there to support those people. So it's so much fun being able to do that, and be able to not only give a good show to the people watching it, but also have a great crowd for the comics performing, because they deserve it, and it's always fun to have that.
Yeah, man. Well, we got another date also coming up. You can see Max live at this year's Flyover Comedy Festival in St. Louis, happening on November 8th through 10th.
Yes.
That weekend. So
yeah.
You said you were performing on
the 9th. Yes. I will be at the Improv Shop. They have an awesome side stage, which is like one of my absolute favorite places to honestly. Just aside from the funny bone, obviously, the Improv Shop side stage is like my favorite place in the city to perform. It's like the most like perfectly put together, intimate setting where like it takes like 40 people for it to be packed. The acoustics in there are like more like just as perfect as you can ask for in comedy, and it's just like it's got a nice stage, and just like the people who come out there are always awesome and very supportive, and you just like it's almost hard not to kill. Like it's like if you get a few people laughing, then it's like it reverberates. That's the word, right? Yeah. Reverberates off the wall, and then like gets the rest of the room laughing, and then it's just like I don't know. You build that momentum, and they're so quick, and it just ends up being like such a fun show. I always love performing there. So yeah, I'll be on their show. What is Bobby? Yeah, I was trying to think of who else was on the show in St. Louis. Bobby J. Cox is actually headlining that show, and then the others I believe are just all people from various cities. But yeah, Flyover is a really amazing festival. I was lucky to be a part of the inaugural festival last year, and it was. I mean, they all did an amazing. Zach Krzyżowiak did them, and everybody else who was involved. Chris Warnowski, I know like Emily Hickner did a lot of work for it. I think like Kenny Kynes. I know I'm missing people, but there's several people in St. Louis who did a lot of really hard work to make it so amazing, and they did. I mean, every show last year was at least close to sold out, if not sold out, and everybody had an amazing time, and it's I'm happy to have been accepted to perform it and again this year, and it's really it's something St. Louis really needed. Like, we really needed something to put us on the map like this, to put us on the map in comedy, and yeah, it's just blown up. Really, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm excited because, just like you're saying, man, they're like having something like this where in the city is just gonna shine a light on, everything we were saying about the support local too, like, and all this stuff. It's like it just kind of shine a light on what other, we're gonna, you're bringing some big headliners in, but it's also giving everybody else locally an opportunity to shine and helps to help support the whole city, and everybody benefits, from the clubs to the comics and everything. So
yeah, to the vendors. Yeah.
Right, that's a great thing for everybody involved. And but yeah, I'm excited that Ben Kronberg's coming back. He's one of my favorites.
Oh God,
to watch.
I love Ben Kronberg. Yeah, I got to open for him last time. He came through St. Louis, and he is just, dude, talk about like a guy who is so uniquely funny, and not only uniquely funny, but like consistently funny. Like, that guy is not that he's not like a big name and like widely booked, but still very underrated. Like, he's like, more people need to know about Ben Kronberg, and he's also just one of the nicest people.
Sure,
so nice. Like, it's insane. It was such an honor working with him at the Ready Room last time he was here. But yeah, the headliner schedule for this year's at Flyover is just awesome. Just ridiculous.
A lot of, and like, not just stand up, you got a lot of improv and stuff. You got a lot of all kinds of these different groups, so there's going to be a lot of different types of comedy. So
improv and sketch. I will say I haven't gotten a chance to see any of the improv or sketch groups that are on the bill this year, but I have only heard absolutely amazing things about all of them. So I'm really excited to be at the shows, as well as performing to see all the other things going on.
Sure,
so it's gonna be great.
Have you gotten into any of that stuff? Do you you get to try any improv at the improv shop or anything? Or
when I first started doing stand-up, I also took level 1 or I think it starts at like level 0. I did like basically the first level improv class, just to just to have another thing to get the gears running and stuff, and it was really fun. I enjoyed it. Kevin McKernan was the teacher. He's a really great guy and a good teacher, and it was a lot of fun. After the first class, I wanted to go up to the next one, but it was like right when my son was about to be born, and I was just so crazy busy that like basically if I like wanted to spend any time on stand up at all, like I wasn't gonna have time for that, so I ended up not doing it anymore. But I have just an insane respect and appreciation for people who are able to succeed in improv, because I mean that is like no other is just so difficult. I mean, it is, it's rough. It's not easy.
That's I mentioned, just like kind of the funny doing the open mic thing is the improv is something there kind of in the back of my mind, that just like having, again, like you were saying, another tool in the belt kind of thing, just to be able to have that muscle to be able to use it to help me hosting this show and stuff too, just to have another skill. So hopefully it expands to other skill sets, whether it's just to be good at public speaking or like interviewing. For me, it would be like if something happened, like riffing, crowd work, taking out hecklers like that. Like, it really, no matter what you do, really, if it involves speaking in any way, it's gonna help. Like, it can't go wrong. For sure. Man, you mentioned your son. Is he affected your writing? Oh my God, yeah. That, man, it's so weird. It's so, like, it is such a paradox, such a give and take, because here's the thing. Before I had my son, I had all this time to go out and do whatever mics I wanted. I could do like, if I wasn't even at that level yet, but if I was at the level of like traveling, I could do that. But I didn't have
relatable like material. Like, you know, it's just a 20-year-old dumb, you know, kid who just like talked about stupid 20-year-old stuff. You know, like it. Like, I had nothing to give, like, nothing, I had no universal appeal, basically. Like, I had nothing to give to, like, an older crowd or, like, a more mature, sophisticated crowd. And when my son was born, I just, you know, obviously, like, if you're a parent and you don't get material out of your kids, like, I don't even know what you're doing, like, if you're spending time with them, because, like, it's just, yeah, I mean, a huge chunk of my material started becoming about my kid, and that, you know, it makes you so much more relatable, obviously. And I mean, that was honestly the best thing that ever happened for my career, was having a kid, because I, like, being young, I automatically appeal to young crowds, but then or at least I'm at least like relatable. But then having a kid, I'm able to relate to an older crowd because they can all relate with that. So yeah, it gives you so much more depth in your style and your your technique and everything about it. Yeah. To where, but then it's like, but because of that, I also have less time to practice, to go out to like shows, or to like, I can't, like, if I travel for comedy, it has to be very quick. Like, I can't go on like a long road trip just doing like shows all over. I like to do like mostly just like one show, one night thing, and then travel back either that night or the next morning. It's like my son's mother and I have 50-50 custody, so I have him, basically like every other day. So it's like, I got to be back real soon. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, it's, obviously I wouldn't like trade it, for the world, because without him, I mean, aside from, it sounds really weird that I'm like talking about my son in a leverage way, like he's just good for comedy. Like, obviously I would have traded for the world regardless, but as far as comedy is concerned, it's like without him, I would have all this time, but I wouldn't I wouldn't have that like experience, because like it gives you not only material, but like this experience that makes you a better, like, you become a better writer because you start working harder. Like, I feel like it's almost good that I have less time, because I actually utilize that time for being productive. Like, when I was young, it's like I had so much more free time, and I just used it doing jack shit, and like now that I have just a small increment of time every day to do something, that whether it's writing or rehearsing a new joke till I memorize it, or doing something that involves producing for the show, I spend all of that time doing that. Like, I don't do anything, like, I never can really find myself just doing something that isn't productive. Even if I'm watching like a show or something, if I'm watching TV, I'm watching it out of my peripherals while I, I'm either photoshopping a poster design, or I'm putting out ads, or I'm, whatever, booking someone for the next show. It's like you learn to utilize your time so much more respectfully, and I still get more done now than with that little bit of time than I did with all that time I had, free time I had. So yeah. It's crazy how it works. Like, it really does, like, it's crazy to sit down and think about like that, but it really is awesome. Like, mine, and I mean, I was just a dumb kid making a lot of bad choices in life in general. So to be honest, like, my kid was just easily the best thing that ever happened to me as a person. Like, it sounds so cliche, like people say, oh, it's the best thing that ever happened to me, and but it's true, like, sure. It's hard not to, because like I always hated those people before I had a kid. I was like, oh my god, we gotta shut the fuck up. But like now that I'm that, like, I'm that guy, and I'm just like, yeah, I know I'm that guy, but they were right. Like, it's true, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I work in an elementary school, and I'm around these kids all day, and some of the stuff they say and things, and I just I don't have the comedic mind to write all the, but it's like it's just like nonstop material, like the stuff that they say or do, and it just makes me laugh, and I'm like, they're just, an endless supply of great jokes and stuff because
they really are.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love it? Even you don't have to. And that's the thing is that like you don't have to have kids to laugh at a joke about kids or laugh at them. It's like there's nothing more like universally accepted and like appealing than talking about kids because like even if you don't like kids, like you can still like appreciate like their value as a comedic tool. It's just like you can like nobody doesn't know what you're talking about if you're talking about kids. It's just like like there's so many things that you can try to touch on as far as subjects and topics, and people are like, oh, I have no idea what he's talking about. But like kids, you can literally say just about like anything that involves kids, and they're like, yeah, I know what you mean. My sister has a bunch of kids, or my friend has a kid. I know what they're talking about.
Sure.
So like it really like it's as long as the joke is good, it will hit with anyone because everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we got the Flyover Comedy Festival happening. We got the Best of St. Louis Showcase, and you can find those dates. You can follow along with the Facebook page. We have a Best of STL on Facebook there, right?
Yeah, so the two best ways would definitely be the Best of STL Showcase on Facebook. Even better than that is actually my personal Instagram page, which is at MaxPriceIsMe, MaxPriceIsme, Max Price is me. I do a lot of work through like Instagram to promote and everything, because that's where like definitely the larger portion of my following comes from, especially with like the other little projects and stuff I do through it. So I'm like constantly posting it about on there. I'm also constantly on Instagram doing contests and like giveaways and stuff for people to get free merch. We have every month I have like gift bags from like our sponsors and stuff, where you can like basically you just for the most part usually you just tag a friend or like enter your name and like the post, and then you get basically put into a little randomizer for a gift bag that has like 15% off tattoo or piercing from Steel and Ink Studio, which is one of our sponsors. You can get discounts to Southwest Diner, where I also work. Is also one of our sponsors, and then like you can possibly get like a free T-shirt. You just get a bunch of like stickers and buttons from all the sponsors and stuff, and it's a bunch of cool little prizes that you can try to win each and every month. Yeah. So if you follow me on there, you can possibly win one of those along with free tickets to a show, which is a pretty great deal. So check me out on there, or follow the Facebook page. And if you come to a show and you have a good time, please rate and review it. That's very important. It helps a lot. Do that.
So like I said, we got the showcase on the 14th of November, and then December 5th is on the calendar as well. So mark those dates on your calendar and come on out and laugh with us.
Please do.
At the Funny Bone. And you can also catch Max there regularly featuring on the weekends and stuff too, right? Or
I'm there on. Obviously this comes out later, anyways, but I'll be there this weekend with Kevin Bozeman, who is brilliant and awesome, and I post about that kind of stuff on my page too, so you can find all about that there.
Man. Well, I appreciate you doing this again, man, and it's always it was good to catch up, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you for having me on. I'm ready to slam some pancakes at this Denny's, man. That's why we're here,
Yeah, shout out to Denny's.
I tried the burger, see if salmonella is real. Because I'm pretty sure this is where you'd get it. I'm already looking. I'm checking it out. Bacon avocado cheeseburger. That sounds pretty good. I bet those avocados are way past ripe.
All right, I'm gonna.
we get a little.
I'm definitely gonna chow down on some pancakes. I've been thinking about it all day, so.
Sweet.
I will. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Rock, paper, podcast. Rock, paper, podcast. Rock, paper, podcast.
Rock, paper, podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.